What's up, SE Nation? Ramsey here. Question for you. When you look at me, what do you see? Let me tell you what I see when I look in the mirror. I see someone who can sit in a room with another 20 people and not say a single word. Someone who'd rather sit and write the script for this YouTube video than go out there and hang out with a bunch of people that he may already know. In other words, I am an introvert. And in this video, I want to talk about how being an introvert has hindered my career and the things that I've done to overcome my introverted challenges. So if there are introverts out there watching this video, I hope this provides you some form of information about what you can do to overcome your challenges as well. And no two challenges are the same, but at least it'll give you an idea. If this does help by the end of the video, make sure you hit the like button. I know it's hard for us introverts to actually do that, but if there are some extroverts out there watching this video, please show the introverts how it's done. And if you need help with anything else related to sales engineering, mindset, and improving your career, wait till the end of the video and see how you can get some additional help. So here's my story. I got my first job out of university when I went to a barbecue and I met someone. The problem was I never wanted to go to that barbecue. If it wasn't for peer pressure, and by that I mean my mom, I wouldn't have went. While I was there, I was more than happy sitting down, eating my food, stuffing my face, drinking my drink, and not talking to anybody. A person sitting right across from me, talking to my aforementioned mommy, having a chat, she saw me wearing my Nortel shirt, and she started a conversation with me. She told me that she worked for Alcatel-Lucent and they were looking to hire some new engineers. So I sent her my resume, got some coaching from her, and I smiled my behind off the entire interview. Before I got the job, I was out of a job for 4 months, and if it wasn't for that Nortel shirt, I'd probably still be jobless by now. As an early 20-year-old, I had a hard time going to job fairs after university to find a job. And when I did go, I didn't know how to approach the people behind the booths. I didn't even know that they wanted to be approached. That was their job. Their whole job was to recruit people. I didn't even think about it that way. I just kept my distance. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was hoping for people to approach me. Having that shirt on was a conversation starter, and it was very beneficial for someone who's introverted and doesn't want to initiate conversations. I currently know many people who put stickers on their laptops just to start a conversation with random people. And it's probably salespeople putting stickers about their products, but it's conversations. That's why it's a conversation starter. So if you're an introvert and you don't want to start conversations, wear a conversation starter, I guess my piece of advice is, or stick a piece of conversation starter on your shirt, your laptop, your hat, whatever it is. It's a way to break the ice and invite people to come and talk to you. And even then, I knew that I needed to meet people, but I went the route of applying for jobs online, which we all know won't get you a job. And it wasn't until I was forced to go to a barbecue to meet my mom's friend, who wasn't really her friend, it was just an acquaintance, but I had to meet that person so I can get offered a job. That's how it worked for me. Now, that first job, I was a support engineer, a network support engineer. That means I get calls from customers whenever they run into problems. And my manager at the time said that I exuded confidence. I didn't have any confidence. I did get comfortable after a while, doing my own thing, sitting behind the computer, assigning myself tickets, resolving them, and moving on with my life. After a while, I did become comfortable in assigning myself tickets, reproducing the issues, escalating, and resolving these issues. But the job had so much more opportunities available to people who just raised their hands to catch them. The team got a chance to do proof of concepts for sales teams and their customers, do training for customers and for internal teams within Alcatel-Lucent. There were a lot of opportunities to meet people beyond just the team. But being an introvert made me only raise my hand when I actually had an opportunity to do something not related to working with other people. For example, I fought to be on call earlier. So on call is, if you're on call and something breaks at a customer's site at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're the one they call. That's what on call is. It's, I guess, self-explanatory. My manager said it takes almost a year for people to be comfortable being on call. And I wasn't comfortable being on call, but I fought for it. And within 6 months of me starting the job, I became part of the rotation of the on-call people. And I knew I don't know everything and it's going to be tough. And if I get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, I might be in deep doo-doo, but I still tried that. I never raised my hand to be part of a proof of concept. I never raised my hand to go out and provide training for customers. Looking back, it would have been very beneficial for me to go out there and do that because I get challenged by customers. I'm going to learn exactly what customers want beyond just whatever support that I do. In the end, when my manager asked me if I'd like to go out and provide training, my ego couldn't say no. So I was, again, peer pressured, or in this case, manager pressured, gently, into going out and providing training. And frankly, that was one of the best experiences I've had as a support engineer. I enjoyed talking to people. I just never took the first step to actually go out and do the training. I got lucky and I got a nudge. I know some teammates who maybe were a little bit more introverted than me that never got that nudge and never got the opportunity to go out and do that with their customers and learn from that experience. Now, after a while with that role, I felt I was severely underpaid, or at least I was underpaid, and I wanted to find another job. I did the support thing. Now it's time for me to move on. And again, I was open to leaving Alcatel-Lucent at the time, but I stuck to the online job application route instead of going out to meetups and meeting people. And once I couldn't find a job for some reason outside the company, I settled for an internal role within the company. It was a great role of a network design engineer. I was very happy to take that role, but it didn't come with a salary raise. It came with a promise of one, but not an actual salary raise. So if I had left, it might have been better for my career, might have not. Grass is not always greener, and I'm happy where I am today, so I'm not complaining about any of that. I'm just sharing that part of the story. So that helped me because I started getting out of my shell a little bit. Although I'm still introverted, I learned how to turn it on bit by bit, or turn off my introvertedness, turn on my extrovertedness bit by bit, and started meeting customers, started learning from them, started enjoying being around them, but I was still underpaid. So after 2 years of being in this role and being promised a raise and that never came to fruition, I decided I'm gonna start looking elsewhere. I again applied online to hundreds of roles, didn't try to go out and meet people. So I guess if you are trying to apply for jobs, go out and meet people. Maybe I'll summarize it that way. So after 2 years of being promised a raise and it not coming to fruition, I decided it's time for me to move on from the company. And again, I went the route of applying to hundreds of jobs from the safety of my computer screen instead of going out there and meeting people. And I got lucky. I found a role that's a systems engineer role for a product that I've used as part of the company that I worked for, and who would have the main customer as the company that I work for. So it was anyways, it was lucky that I found that job and I got that job. As it turns out, systems engineer is just another title for sales engineer. And part of my job was to go out there and meet customers, meet people, talk to them, learn from them, explain my stuff. It was an extroverted dream, an introverted nightmare. But I wanted to be the best SE that I can be, so I went out there and I sprayed and prayed like the best of them. It was fairly easy. Even the largest group of customers couldn't challenge me on what I'm presenting for them, mainly because they might have been asleep at the time because it's the same slides over and over. But after the honeymoon phase, it was back to being tough. It was back to being a chore, and I had to go out there and visit customers. I had badge access to most of my customers, or the main customers that I used to work with over and over. And I noticed that I wouldn't go and meet the right people for the job, as in the people who can make the decisions, people who can open up opportunities. I went and met the people I was comfortable talking to. A lot of them were my friends from when I worked at that company. But then I started building relationships with the right people slowly. And on one-on-one basis, I would walk up to someone, talk to them, we'd joke around, have fun. The next time I'd come back, we'd joke around some more, and we started building that relationship. Maybe we'll go out to lunch and grab lunch on one-on-one basis. That was fun for me. And that helped me understand their issues better, but more importantly, it taught me that although I don't like to talk to a million people at the same time, I am okay building relationships one-on-one. Bit by bit, slowly. I don't have to build a relationship with 20 people at the same time, but I can't build a relationship with one in one day. So even though I'd find myself in group settings with different people, I wouldn't try to connect with all these different people, with 25 people in the room. I'd find one or two and try to build a relationship with those people. They might be the right people for the business, or they might be the wrong people for the business, but once you start building that relationship, they might point you in the right direction. And if we're in those meetings with 25 people, I wouldn't walk out with 25 business cards, but I would walk out with one or two dates. Business dates, get your head out of the gutter. And as a sales engineer, I went to more and more conferences. And these are a different animal than whatever I've seen in the past. I mean, yes, it's a group setting, but it's not just a group setting for 1 or 2 hours. It was long hours, lots of people talking. You're meeting people through breakfast, then sessions, then break, then a session, then lunch, then sessions, then break, then sessions. So you're basically meeting people from 8 o'clock in the morning till at least 5. And these are the working hours. And then after that, there's dinner. Dinner would have been the perfect time for me to build the relationships with the new people that I met during the day. But I would be exhausted. Not tired from working, just tired from meeting people, mentally drained. And instead of going out to dinner, I would find excuses to stay in my room and work on something in front of a computer, or just zone out, like sit in bed and like fall asleep or something. This is something I still do, or at least I used to do before COVID hit. This is something that I've struggled with for a while as well. I mean, there is no magic pill. I haven't found a solution for that. I couldn't build one-on-one relationships when I've met 1,700 people in that day by the end of the day. It just meant that I had to get up and just do it. And lots of times I failed to force myself to go out and do it. And when I did, I'd end up gravitating towards the people that I already have a comfort level with. So I didn't have to push myself and go out and meet people that I wasn't necessarily comfortable with at the time. Basically, that means I stayed in my comfort zone. When we're talking about internal meetings, like global sales kickoff or whatever internal meeting you're in, this limited my ability to actually build relationships with the management team for the sales engineering role and the sales role itself. In terms of if I need a promotion one day or if I need an ally from a different team, I didn't have that. I was isolated. I self-isolated from them. And some of the contributions that I did for the company went unnoticed because I couldn't market myself to those people. And from an external perspective, it hindered my ability to build relationships with additional customers. The best time to build relationships is when you're outside of the business setting, and that would have been a perfect one. But I was not very successful at that. In recent years, since COVID hit, I haven't had that many challenges in terms of like meeting people, at least none that pop into mind. I mean, I know Zoom, Teams, or WebEx, whatever you use, could be draining, but I haven't had the problem of building relationships with people. And maybe in a year or two when I look back, I'll say, oh, I should have done this, I did this wrong. But right now I can't think of anything, so hopefully in a self-reflective mood, I'll be able to find out if I need to improve anywhere. Now, the title of this video is How Being an Introvert Hindered My Career. So if I wasn't an introvert, would I be ahead of where I am today? Potentially. Did it slow down my career and stop me from being in contention for some promotions? Again, it's possible. But there are so many things that I do better because I'm an introvert, or at least that's my opinion of it. I feel I do things better because I am an introvert, and that's a topic for next week's video. Now, before you go, I mentioned earlier, if you're looking for help, stay till the end, and we're almost at the end. If you're looking for coaching, I have a goal of helping at least 10,000 SEs in the next 5 years in their journey to become the best kick-ass SEs they could possibly be. And that's why I started the SE Hotline service. The SE Hotline is an affordable service that I'm providing for SEs, whether they're aspiring, new, or experienced, where they can come in, get the coaching that they need to achieve their goals and be the best sales engineers that they want to be. If you want to check it out, you can go to wetheSalesEngineers.com, or if you have any questions, you can go there or link up with me on LinkedIn. The link for LinkedIn is in the description below, and I will see you next time. Peace.